The proposed federal system for Lebanon seeks to organize the country's pluralistic social fabric by empowering local communities to manage their own affairs with a framework that preserves state unity and stability. This article presents a practical step toward understanding how federalism can move from a theoretical concept to a tangible solution that delivers a peaceful conflict resolution framework in a multicultural society. The proposed federal system begins with the recognition that Lebanon is composed of multiple nations. The Lebanese constitution used the word millet, which is an Ottoman word for nation, and diverse civilization group, each with its own national narrative, history, cultural references, worldviews, and unique way of life. This pluralism is not to be understood merely as a religious divide, but more as identity, developed over centuries to become an established reality. Accordingly, the federal system aims to organize that pluralism rather than attempt to negate it. Political cohesion is not built by imposing a single centralized model of governance on diverse communities, but by empowering these communities to manage their own affairs within a unified framework. In this context, federalism is viewed as a human right rather than a temporary whim. Every civilizational group has the right to choose a system of governance that reflects its social values and to recognize its educational, economic, cultural, security, and sovereign affairs. As Jean-Paul II relentlessly affirmed, people have the right to perpetuate their own history. Such a system is based on bottom-up power devolution, meaning that the authority is exercised at the lowest possible level and transferred to the higher one only when the lower authority deems it necessary. This principle, known as the principle of subsidiarity, constitutes the backbone of any successful federal system. Solidarity, meanwhile, represents a cornerstone of federalism no less important than the subsidiarity principle outlined above. The principle of solidarity requires a mechanism for wealth redistribution whereby certain resources are transferred from wealthier villages to the less prosperous ones. This ensures that all areas benefit from local wealth, promotes equal opportunities for prosperity and well-being, supports balanced development, and enables all communities to participate meaningfully in progress and growth, thereby strengthening the local cohesion and stability and reducing the economic disparities between neighboring municipalities. The proposed federal system is based on three integrated levels of governance: the municipal level, relating to municipal residency, the cantonal level, relating to cantonal citizenship, and the federal level. Municipal residency entails specific rights and obligations, just as cantonal citizenship and Lebanese nationality. Every Lebanese citizen is entitled to benefit from the rights and is required to comply with the corresponding duties by virtue of their registered place of residence, their cantonal affiliation, i.e. the citizenship, and their Lebanese nationality. Municipalities constitute the foundational cell of the federal system, transferring decision-making to the level closest to the citizens, where public affairs are managed by local community itself. This ensures greater effectiveness, direct accountability, direct democracy when needed, and a genuine sense of belonging, ownership, and responsibility. Municipalities are therefore not merely administrative units subordinated to the central authority, but local political entities vested with broad powers to manage citizens' daily affairs. These powers include urban planning, public services, local taxation levels, and local developments, the right over natural resources, as well as local judiciary, and security matters. This framework enables local authorities to address challenges in accordance with the specific characteristics of each area, away from uniform centralized solutions that have proven ineffective in a multicultural society. The municipal council is elected by all registered residents within the municipal boundaries, regardless of their cantonal citizenship. This reflects the functional character of municipalities and embodies the concept of actual residency and participation in local life. Candidacy for municipal office and any public office in the municipal and cantonal administration, however, is restricted to cantonal citizens of the canton to which the municipality belongs, thereby ensuring the preservation of the local identity, an organic link to the municipal community, and accountability by those who are an integral part of it. The approximately 1,300 municipalities in Lebanon also enjoys the capacity to scale up when needed to deliver on infrastructure needs and public good. For this, it can cooperate with one another and are allowed to establish flexible, ad hoc municipal unions, referred to as multi-order, to launch joint projects in accordance with their economic and developmental needs, without the need for permanent association. This flexible model enhances integration among regions and reinforces localism as a key entry point for balanced development, while respecting the particularities and autonomy of each municipality within the legal framework of the canton to which it belongs. The federal system is composed of 4 cantons representing Lebanon's principal millet national community: Christian, Sunni, Shia, and Druze. Each one of the 1,300 municipalities will be allocated to one of the 4 cantons. Municipal affiliation within these cantons is determined according to a clear and precise demographic criteria designed to reflect the actual social reality and to guarantee a fair, stable, and sustainable presence for each component. Any municipality whose original constituent belonged for more than 67% to one millet/nation is affiliated with the relevant canton. The same goes for those municipalities whose constituents' leading millet ranges between 51% and 66%, while the second largest group accounts for less than 25%. This municipality is likely affiliated with the canton of that leading group. In other cases, the municipality is classified as an administrative case or unclassified, and there are less than 100 in Lebanon that fall within this category. And its status is addressed through one of 2 ways: either a local vote to determine the cantonal affiliation, with the canton reserving the right to refuse, or the adoption of an administrative/constitutional settlement that takes into account the municipality's local and historical particularities, such as municipal split, among other measures. This framework reflects the principle of representative justice and affirms that the formation of canton is grouped in concrete social and demographic realities rather than theoretical assumptions or top-down interests. The canton constitutes the core unit of political governance within the federal system and enjoys broad sovereign powers in managing its internal affairs. These include legislative, executive, and judicial authority, the drafting of its own cantonal constitution, the organization of its own elections, the management of the local economy, education and culture, the administration of defense and security, and the collection of cantonal taxes and other services and levies. Finally, each canton elects its own parliament, elects its own prime minister, forms its ministerial council, and establishes an independent judicial authority. This enables the full exercise of power and guarantees genuine autonomy for each internal entity. While this enables the full exercise of power and guarantees the genuine autonomy for each internal entity, while simultaneously preserving the cohesion of the federal system as a whole. The role of the federal level is limited to the management of shared sovereign matters that cannot be addressed at the local or cantonal levels. These include foreign policy, the declaration of war and peace, border defense, diplomatic representation, and monetary policy. Federal decisions are taken through a presidential council, also referred to as the federal government, composed of the heads of government of the 4 cantons, i.e. the 4 prime ministers. Each member holds the right of veto, meaning that any decision related to foreign policy, war and peace, or monetary policy must receive the approval of all 4 cantons in order to ensure consensus and safeguard the interests of every component. The federal executive authority consists of 4 prime ministers of the 4 cantons, with the presidency of the federation rotating annually among them. The 4 cantonal parliaments meet to form the federal parliament, which is composed of all deputies elected within each their respective canton. The 4 cantonal parliaments meet to form the federal parliament, which is composed of all deputies elected each within their own respective canton, each of whom becomes de facto and de jure a member of the federal parliament. Its role, i.e. the federal parliament, is advisory to the federal government. The federal judiciary, for its part, has jurisdiction exclusively over cases and disputes involving the federal administration. A unified federal army, Armée de Métier, would be established to protect the borders of the federal state, while a national guard specific to each canton would be created to manage internal securities and maintain local stability. This force would also serve as a federal reserve army, Armée de Réserve. All armed forces would be subject to a coordinated training aimed at enhancing interoperability among the different forces, ensuring effectiveness and rapid response to any external threat, and reflecting a balance between local autonomy and state unity. Lebanon stands at a historical crossroads, and federalism represents a decisive strategic choice for survival and renewal. This system is not merely a political theory, but a realistic and practical framework that protects rights, guarantees justice, and prevents any single component from monopolizing power. We can no longer continue to submit to a failed centralized unitary system that had produced chaos and left the state incapable of protecting its own citizens, socially, culturally, militarily, and economically. The success of the federal project, however, requires genuine participation, political engagement, public awareness, popular mobilization. It requires from each and every one of us to engage as a soldier in the raging, merciless cultural struggle, shaking and shaping our time. The time has come to adopt federalism. Every passing day carries a heavy cost. For the Christians, a step closer to disappearance and extinction, and for the other communities, Sunni, Shia, and Druze alike, perpetual underdevelopment and a continuous cycle of hatred and resentment in an enduring lawless state.